thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Hey! This doggone thing is humming again. Okay, now I think we got it. Everything situated. Good afternoon, one and all, in the region, across the nation, around the world. We welcome y'all to the Tuesday edition of the Brian Snow Show. Glad to have you here. I got something to do before 5 o'clock, and I promised Drew Willingham I would do it, and I'm going to get it done while I'm doing this. Oh, man. Good to have you with us. We're live on CSTV. We're live on WLEO in Baltimore. We are on WQEE in Atlanta. And we are on our flagship stations, Snowman Multimedia Sportsnet Radio. We're presented by BetUS.com and Invader Coffee, here to bring you the best in sports analysis, stories, and pure entertainment. We'll embark on a journey that celebrates the power of sports to uplift, inspire, and unite us all. Well, we are just about set to go with this rapid-fire edition of the Brian Snow Show, so let's get into it. Let's go around the horn. Justin Verlander is home. He has been reunited with the Houston Astros. They are acquiring Justin Verlander from the Mets for another World Series run, and this should put an end to the Texas Rangers, even though they acquired Max Scherzer. Verlander has just been better. Nickelodeon is set to air slime-filled alternate telecast for Super Bowl 58. Why the hell are they doing that again? Why? Why? Do people actually watch that? I don't. I'd rather listen to the game on the radio and watch it on television. Slime-filled alternate telecast. What the hell for? The PGA Tour. Dagnabbit. Now I gotta look at it another. There we are. There's the button I'm looking for. And now this is acting stupid. Dagnabbit. I had it for a moment. I swear to God, I had it for a moment, and now this thing just wants to act stupid. There. That should take care of that. And that should take, and here it is. Tiger Woods joined the PGA Tour board as the organization agreed to transparency and new governance measures with the announcement today. The agreement is billed as an assurance that the PGA Tour remains for the players, by the players, and gives the players upper hand when it comes to partnering with Live Golf, although I'll believe that when I see it. The new board will be comprised of 6 player directors, 5 independent directors, and the PGA of America director. The other player directors are Patrick Cantlay, Cantley. That's one of them. Get this thing out of here. This doggone advertisement. I hate when that happens. Dagnabbit, get out of here. This is what I get for trying to invoke new things into my presentation. Anyway, I'll close this session of the Round the Horn with that. Now, what the hell is up with this slime-filled alternate broadcast of the Super Bowl? What's up with that? Who actually pays it? Who actually watches that stuff? Huh? Does anybody actually care that Nickelodeon is doing an alternate broadcast of the game? I mean, okay. I can't ask the question, does anybody care? Because I know some people that actually do. I actually get that. I get that. But I don't. I don't get it. I just don't understand why that Nickelodeon wants to air a slime-themed alternate broadcast. Listen to the words again. Nickelodeon has made its fame on slime, on sliming people. The game shows that had slime in it, okay? The shows. Slime has been the thing for Nickelodeon. Now I understand that. When I was a kid, I loved that mess. No pun intended. But, keep this down here. But, I mean, yeah, I get the idea of sliming people as adults, but that's just because some adults are just plain stupid. And they need to be slimed. They need to be splattered on the head with all kinds of stuff, man. Stop it. I just don't understand how or why or what the bloody hell has gotten these folk into sliming people, and you want to include it in the Super Bowl. Can somebody explain this to me, please? What gave Nickelodeon, and this started happening a few years ago with, I believe, a playoff game. I want to say it began with a playoff game between the Bears and the Saints. Bears and the Saints in the wild card game, in which the Saints won. And then it happened with the 49ers and the Cowboys. Who made this up? That's all I want to know. Just who made this up? Who the hell gave Nickelodeon this idea? Who gave them this idea? I don't understand. I don't have anything else for that subject. I just don't. Okay. Well, I'll be back to explain why Pat McAfee bended the knee and now tried to rise from it. My comments after this. I'll be back. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, They need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So stop that here. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
You have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
$13 after the hour, here on The Brian Snow Show. Glad to have y'all with us. And I took that extended break because my belly's acting screwy again. So what I'm going to do this main story that my partner put in the slate with Pat McAfee apologizing. And then I am going to yank out an old interview that I did when I first premiered the Brian Snow Show with my friend Annie Del Rey, because I am working on getting her back on the show, and that's probably going to be the format that I use from now on. You know, the first half of the show, I cover the stories that my partner puts in the slate, and then the second half of the show, I'm going to integrate my special guests from all walks of life, because when I originally thought of this show, after I created the Sports Senseis, after Drew created the Sports Senseis, shout out to Drew Willingham, I wanted to make this different from the all sports show that I do in the morning. And now that I've tried to go 2 hours with it, and now that I've gotten Cole Johnson involved with it, and now that my wife has gotten involved with it, it's like, I get it now. I get it. I get how I need to do this. So that's how I'm going to handle it from this moment going forward. Beginning next week is when I will start reintegrating all of my special guests. And I got a mess here on my desk, so forgive me as I clean this up and make sure that, let me take another break. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Hey y'all, Snowman here. Catch me, Cole Johnson, Wise El Jefe, Vicala, and the rest of the usual suspects, and a few unusual suspects, as we bring you 2 hours of the best sports talk you will ever watch and listen to. It's called Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Now on at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on CSTV and CSTVNow.com. Join us, won't you?
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
I don't want to grow up. I'm basically a man-child. 2005 Burning Man. I put a single Mitsubishi 170-watt panel on the roof of my F-250, and I killed the batteries within like 15 minutes of the first time turning them on. So that's when I first got into solar. I was blown away by the customer service at Battleborn.
We want them to be happy with our product, because in the long run, they're the ones who are out there using it.
When you used to buy something American, like a car, something you knew was built really well, that's what I think of with Battleborn.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
At 18 after the hour, I think I got everything situated. Here at my desk because it was a mess and some things were laying around that shouldn't have been laying around, and this is my fault. I'm probably going to wind up striking this set and rebuilding it. Let me get to this. Pat McAfee apologizes and then defends his post about Larry Nassar and Michigan State. He took time on the show to address recent controversial posts that reference Larry Nassar, a former Michigan State and USA Gymnastics sports doctor, in prison for sexually abusing young female gymnasts. Good. I'm glad he's under the jail. McAfee's original post on Twitter, I can't call it X, I don't care what they call it now, was in reply to a photo of Michigan State's neon football jerseys, which McAfee said Nassar was in on the design team, actually. And, of course, that drew a lot of backlash. McAfee said, quote, "There is an all-out onslaught against me right now for simply linking a terrible thing from a school to the most terrible thing from the school to a friend in a reply tweet talking blank to a friend. I do apologize if some people took that in a different way and then spun their own narrative to offend a bunch of other people and kind of did that whole thing." The McAfee seemed to double down on his post, insinuating that the Michigan State fan base was trying to bury the story. McAfee said, quote, "Does it feel like some Michigan State alums are trying to silence the media whenever they acknowledge Larry Nassar, one of the most horrible humans ever of all time? He was at Michigan State for 14 years. So that's not really a part of the story. They kind of created, empowered, and they kind of created and empowered, and yeah, so like if that's going to get us canceled." He then continued by saying he didn't know why he should delete it and apologize. Here are McAfee's comments once again. People are like, "You need to delete this and apologize." And I said, why? I'm talking blank to a friend about something that definitely happened at his school. And I said, this guy's on the design team. Which, if he was, there's your key words, this guy has done the worst imaginable. So if he did design those terrible jerseys Michigan State had as well, that wouldn't even be mentioned in the Larry Nassar entire thing. Thank you. But why'd you have to well, considering the fact that McAfee has been hired by ESPN, he kind of has to bend the knee and apologize. But then he winds up tripling down on his statement and said if Nassar was in on it. Now, that is not condoning what Larry Nassar did, which Pat McAfee did not. That is not saying that that was the most horrible thing, that what Nassar did was the most horrible thing ever, which it was. I mean, McAfee acknowledged everything, every horrible thing that Nassar did. Okay? He acknowledged everything. My thing with Pat McAfee is, why did you go away from your independent platform that was picked up by SiriusXM, which I hope this platform is soon, and I don't know. This is kind of the thing that conflicts me, but I just can't see why he would walk away. I'm talking about Pat McAfee, from $30 million for talking blank about sports and people involved and the people involved and telling the truth about everything. Why? And then you get this, when he was talking to a friend and talking mess to a friend, and then people get a hold of it and want to spin it their own way. Come on. People today are too sensitive for their own damn good. Something I've always said, and Jody's heard me say it several hundred times over, and I'm getting an idea on how I'm going to arrange my desk here between my two monitors. This world has gotten too doggone PC for its own good. It's gotten too PC for its own good. Here's a perfect example of it. Now, I know that Pat McAfee just recently became a father, and he is lining up every piece of money imaginable for his family. I get that. I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm definitely trying to do the same thing. I just wonder why he stepped away from his own platform that he took the time to build. He took the time to build it out of a box truck. Live research coming. He built it out of a box truck, man, and turned it into $1 billion almost. He turned it into a ton of money, which is what I'm trying to do with this, with both the shows that I have. What's the problem? What's the problem with talking mess to your friends about whatever the hell you want to talk mess about? The only thing I can't do here, because my show is picked up by a few stations across radio airwaves, is swear. I can work on that. I'm not getting away from what I love to do, what I love to talk about. No, I'm not going to do that. I will never do that. Ever. As I said, when I created this show, there was so much about it that there was so much about it that I wanted to integrate and do and just have fun with. For the Brand became something special to me, and it was by Pat McAfee. And now I have something that Deet said and something that Ryan McAfee said, called the Snowman Army and the Snow Crew. That's going to wind up being on a t-shirt. I see it coming. But you're going to apologize, Pat? This is my only question. You're going to apologize and then double down on what you were talking about? I'd rather you just double down and leave it at that. I'd rather you just double down and leave it at that, man. That's the only issue that I have. The only one. The only one. which leads me to something that a piece of advice that someone told me, and something that a piece of advice I will always do. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. And that's easy for me to do because I refuse to not tell the truth about what's going on in sports. I simply refuse to bend the knee. I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. You can't make me do it. You won't make me do it, doggone it. For the simplest of reasons, doing this is too much fun. And now I'm actually finding the way to turn this into a lot of money. I'm finding a way to turn this into a whole bunch of money. Ways, I should say. Ways. I just know I have to stay true to who I am. And that's something I'm praying and hoping that Pat McAfee does, even with the pending move to ESPN, man. Even with the pending move, I want him to stay true to who he is. I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not have it any other way. And the McAfee show is fun. That's the biggest thing about it. It's fun. It's provocative. It says stuff that, mainstream media are afraid to say. That mainstream media are afraid to say. I've had people tell me, you should you should be with a station right now, and I'm like, why? They wouldn't like me. My friend says, how come they won't like you? Well, for the simplest of reasons. Well, mainstream media just don't like my ass. Because I tell the truth about everything that's going on. And I will always tell the truth about everything that's going on. Period. Period. I can't and I won't do this another way. I just can't. I can't and I won't. That'll be the stupidest thing for me to do. I can't and won't do this any other way. Period. This is too much fun. I'm having too much fun. And I'm going to turn this into a bunch of money. I will not change. And I'm praying and hoping that Pat McAfee doesn't change either. I'm praying that they don't that he doesn't change. All right? There's so much more I'm going to delve on with this subject, but I'll have to do it at a later time. Because my stomach's acting weird again, and I said that I would queue up an old interview, but it's not going to be. Oh, wait a minute. Let me try to find it, because the interview that I teased was about a dear friend who is a certified health and wellness coach, and I want to play that interview, and I want y'all to see the kind of guests that I'm going to have on the show from here on out. Because as I said in the description, and I'm looking for it now, that I would have guests on this show, the second half of the show, from all walks of life. And I plan to keep that promise. It's a promise that I've made, and it's a promise that I'll keep. And I want to do right by everyone that comes on here. And I want and need to do right by myself, by my own standards, you know. It wouldn't be much fun, and I'm starting to wear down, so I'm hoping to find this soon so I can get it all queued up and ready to roll for the remainder of the show. And that's how I'm going to do it from here on out. So instead of Annie Del Rey, it's going to be Ben Bentley from Better's Green that you'll see. And you'll see it after this, and then I'll come on and put a bow on this puppy. I'll be back. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversation.
Slips, which means sports gambling.
This is where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Welcome back to this edition of the Brian Snow Show, coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. Had Matt Taylor on earlier in the week to talk Colts. Thank him for that. He was on the morning show. He's going to be a constant guest on both of our shows. Speaking of constant guests, you notice recently I haven't had a chance to do Brian's Bet Slips, which means sports gambling, which means Better in Green is a YouTube channel I am now hooked on deliciously because I love not only their setup, but the picks that they make and the lines and all that kind of stuff and everything that they're talking about. So I decided to invite this man on. His name is Ben Bennett, and he joins me right now. What's up, my man?
What's going on, Brian? Good to see you again, man.
Hey, good to see you. We had a chat earlier in the week, and I don't know if it was supposed to be a business chat, folks, but we start sharing stories, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. 2 hours later.
What are you sporting there? St. Louis Blues?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Who's the player you got?
Tarasenko. So it's kind of like a half Rangers jersey now.
Gotcha. For me, you know what? I went to Northeast Missouri State, and I was surrounded by Blues fans up in Kirksville. Most of them from St. Louis.
Yeah.
So I'm surrounded by Blues fans, and that's when kind of like my Blackhawk fandom from Chicago took off. And we had so much fun giving each other mess back and forth.
Yeah.
With the Blues and the Blackhawks. That was, of course, in the 1991 season when the Blues were chasing the Blackhawks. Brett Hull was setting all kinds of records. And one of my neighbors kept posting a puck with the number of goals that Brett Hull scored. So I decided to have a little fun with that. And I went and posted the standings. Because as I said, St. Louis was chasing us in the Norris division. Man, we had so much fun with that rivalry. It's something that when Blackhawk fans and Blues fans get together between the ice, you're cheering for your team. Afterwards, hey, let's go have a beer.
Right. Chicago and St. Louis, man. It's a great rivalry. It's a fun one.
It is
close in proximity, so you're able to get together still. It's a beautiful hockey, baseball. I love it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know this. With college basketball, we still have Illinois and Missouri playing in St. Louis, and like you said, Chicago and St. Louis, two great sports towns. When the game is over, we're both looking for the first place to share a beer with each other and talk about the game.
Yeah. Talk about how you guys somehow managed to get that first overall pick.
Right. Look, I wish I could explain how that happened.
Ooh,
I can't.
buddy.
I can't. I didn't expect the alert to come across my phone. The number one pick belongs to the Chicago Blackhawks, and I went, "What?
Yes, sir.
What happened?"
You're gonna have a couple years of enjoying Bedard, man. That kid's the real deal.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And the last time we had the number one pick, I don't know, Patrick Kane showed up.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah, Patrick Kane was all right. Only helped lead us to 3 Stanley Cups in 6 years. But
yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you on. And I've looked at your channel. I've watched your team. How'd y'all come up with this idea? How did this get started?
Well, first I want to say thanks for having me, Brian. I appreciate you having me on here. We actually started. There was an Indeed ad, and so we responded to it, and we were part of a group that was called Cooper Sports at the time.
Okay.
We made content for a couple months with them. There was a bunch of different projects, and Wyatt, one of the guys on the show, him and Ethan had a show, and then me and Ethan and another guy had a show. Cooper Sports a lot of the programs fell off. Better and Green kept growing. We like to think that we have a really great program over there. We hope you guys go and check it out. But we ended up, when it absorbed, we kept doing our thing, and one of the guys dropped out. We reached out to Wyatt. We said, "Hey, man, Wyatt, he is a phenomenal content creator. I think he has close to 50,000 followers on TikTok, man. He makes some funny stuff. He's been betting for a long time. So we have a really good crew over there." So actually still never met in person, but,
wow.
But we were able to do this all, after COVID. There's so much stuff that you just do virtually now.
Yeah, there is.
It works.
There is. And this works. This is how this took off. And the meeting that you and I have, I'm flipping this over to OBS, and now I know how to do it and have a better background and a more stable background and everything. We talked a lot of shop for a couple hours, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for that. But
anytime, man.
I reached out to you and to your crew because I loved your setup, the channel Better and Green, and how you made all the backdrops and everything. And I took a look at that and I said, okay, I smell Canva somewhere. I smell Canva doing that. And I can't tell you, as creators, and I know you share this with me, I can't tell you how much Canva saved my life.
It's if you haven't had any schooling in Photoshop, you don't need it for Canva. You're able to plug and play. It's good for anybody. And the more you know, the more you play with it, the better you get too. So it's I think it's a phenomenal tool.
It is. That's how I did this. Not only the main background that you see, but the virtual background that's behind me. And I want to thank BetUS for being an affiliate sponsor, as well as Invader Coffee for being an affiliate sponsor. And while I'm at it, I will get this one in. Sports Bettors, your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for our 29th year. Live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily boosters, parlays, props, and parlays. Fast payouts and exceptional one-to-one customer service. We got it all. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887, 800-79-BET-US, and thank them for being an affiliate sponsor of this program. Better in Green. Who came up with the name?
That was actually Ethan. Ethan came up with the name. I came up with the logo. So this is a whole collaborative effort.
Nice. And who does the video intros? Because I like the daily pay. I'm hooked. I'm hooked on you guys' channel. All right. I will say it out loud. I'm hooked on you guys' channel. I'm hooked on the daily picks to the point where I'm reviving Brian's bet slips so I can do my daily picks. Perfect. So, and I'm only going to do a couple of them because of time and because I'm still not physically all the way back from cancer. But who came up with the idea of the daily picks?
So I make all the videos, all the editing type stuff. It usually falls on my plate, but then Wyatt's the one that he records. He was trying something out. He's at Worst Bets on Twitter and on TikTok too. So he was actually trying some stuff out on YouTube beforehand. He said, well, what do you guys think if I start doing something every day? We said, hey man, go for it. Yeah. Go for it if you're up to it. So I gave him the videos and then he just plugs them in and records his part. And I'm the guy, he knows his stuff. So he's doing an excellent job. I think we've had 2 9-day streaks hitting bets every single day of our most our favorite bet. So it's fantastic. I'm glad you like the show. We love the show. We're still pretty new. We haven't been out for a year yet. So we're getting the name out there.
I'm hooked. I'm hooked on the show. I've been on with you guys twice in the chat live, and last week we were supposed to record, didn't get a chance to because situation with my wife. She was very, 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 very sick. I wanted to get her settled, get my family settled. But man, it's fun getting to know you guys, getting to know your creative abilities, and then saying, let me take a piece of that and see what I can do to make my presentation better. And in watching the show in the times that I did, y'all have a lot of fun doing it.
Oh man. If you haven't seen the episode today, we had to cut out probably 7 minutes because we got it stuck in this loop where we just kept laughing and we could not finish this damn outro. We'll upload it at some point. I made up a word and then I said, what the hell am I trying to say? We had to go back. Oh, it was a mess, man. We'll have to upload the bloopers some point.
Now I want to see the bloopers now.
Yeah.
I want to see the bloopers now. There are some days where I work through the night, and that's bad for me because I'm hyped on coffee the next day or some kind of caffeine, and I try very hard not to have any Freudian slips. Yeah. Well, one morning I worked through the night. My wife came in, and she basically told me, after you finish this show, go pass out.
Yeah,
because you're not going to make it through your editing if you don't pass out and get some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of my buddies, Ryan McAfee, who's on with us every Monday, I don't know what I was thinking. I had a cup of coffee right here in front of me, and I took a sip, and I looked at the chat, and I said, Ryan McAfee.
Yeah, that was good for me.
And the greatest thing about it, it stuck.
Yeah.
He took it and ran with it to the point where when we do a joking PSA and he's on with us, you'll see him lift up his cup and go, I'm Ryan McAfee and I approve this message. And it's just gone off the rails, but I love it.
They take their own life.
Yes. There's another segment that we do Wednesdays called Brown Sexual Confessions.
Oh no.
My friend Cole came up with the idea on his show, and I said, can I borrow that and use it? And he said, yeah, go ahead. 2.5 years later, it gets wilder and wilder and wilder every week. It gets crazy. Some of the stuff that is said on social media gets crazier every single week. And then I show up and decide to tell a little bit of truth about the stats that they put up. And I said, well, why don't you juxtapose it against the natural stats? Yeah, they come after my head. You're not supposed to say that about our king, but he's not.
Man.
You know the argument.
I know.
You know it well. I had a kid challenge me, and he says, I want you to name one thing that Michael Jordan has done that LeBron hasn't done. And you can't use championships. I said, oh, that's easy. Defensive player of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never heard from him again.
Yeah. The arguments, man, they're tough, especially after getting swept this year.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
How hard is it, man, to see that happen to him?
I feel for him, man. I think at this point, really the only thing he's got left, I think you're either a LeBron or a Jordan person at this point. I don't know what else LeBron can really do. I mean, he's lost in the finals, lost too many times.
Mm-hmm.
I think all he's looking forward to is play with Bronny.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of the only thing he's holding on to.
And I think that's a couple years down the road. Mm-hmm. And like you said, that's the only thing he's holding on to. You know, is playing with his son. I'm looking forward to see that. To be perfectly honest, as much as I pick on bronsexuals, I am looking forward to seeing that happen. I am. Too. I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. I'm looking forward to seeing Bronny play at USC to see what kind of skills he has. And I've watched him. Don't get it twisted. I've watched him, but the coaching is going to help him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. The coaching is going to help him, and it's going to help him a lot.
He grew up in those basketball locker rooms. I think he's going to come out. I think it's going to be fantastic. He's going to have his head on right. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to see some of these jaw situations that we're seeing with him at the moment.
Yes. Not with LeBron as his father. Oh no.
No.
Oh no. We're not going to see that. And I'm happy. And I'm happy for that.
Me too.
I'm ecstatic for that. That we're not going to see it. Like I said, much as I pick on Bron, I applaud him as a father. Okay. Yes. He's in his kids' lives. He's right there with them as they're growing up. His wife is there with them, and they're growing up with both parents in the household. And I applaud that. I applaud the daylight side of that. I had both of my parents with me, you know, when I got hooked on baseball, and then later basketball, and then later football. To have that, and then Bronny going to USC, I know that's got to be huge for the entire family.
Oh yeah, man. That family, could Bronny be better than Bron, you think, with the support system that he has?
With that support system, part A, and part B, the right coaching, and he's playing in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So the competition is going to be off the chart, especially with USC and UCLA leaving in a year for the Big Ten. So the competition is going to be fierce. You got to see Arizona. You got to see UCLA. You got to see Washington. You got to see Washington State. You got to see Oregon State. You have to see everybody in the Big 12. You got to see Colorado. You got to see Utah. I'm interested to see how he grows as a player and as a person, taking on what's going to be a vigorous schedule. And you know, the Pac-12 television network's going to eat that up.
Yeah.
You know, CBS and NBC and ESPN, they're going to eat that up because they're going to basically put every eye on Bronny that he can. That is where I worry.
Yeah.
That is where I worry. And again, with so many times that I pick on bronsexuals, my true worry is how he will handle the situation. How he will handle being enormously scrutinized.
Oh, unbelievably.
He's going to be scrutinized, and I feel for him, and I feel for his family.
Yeah, I do too. You think of all the expectations that LeBron had going in,
and
then now the expectations that Bronny's going to have. I mean, it's going to be hard. He's going to have to win like how many championships just to meet expectations, let alone surpass them.
I mean, the moment he announced he was headed to USC, that put them basically in the top 25 to stay just because of name recognition. I want to see Bronny do it on the court. I want to see his footwork improve. I want to see his free throw stroke improve. I want to see his jump shot stroke improve. I want to see him have a post game.
Yeah.
And I get attacked so much for saying that about Bron. And I'm like, well, how can you say that? I'm like, look, I'm breaking down his game.
Yeah.
I'm not touching everything off the floor because I know he's a fabulous father. He's a good husband, and he works for the community. He does things for the community, no matter where he is.
Yeah.
I judge him, and I've said this for years. I've judged him by his game on the floor.
Yep.
Period. And what I see with Bronny, absolute raw talent. All right. You can't hide that. You can't deny that. I won't deny that. But the coaching has got to help him improve because they're waiting for Bronny to be a one and done and head to the NBA. And LeBron's going to engineer a trade where he can be with his son on the same team, be it Cleveland, be it Los Angeles, be it wherever. But in that 1 year, I don't want anything to happen to him that happened to Zion Williamson. I want him to be healthy the entire year. I don't want him to, and I'm not wishing any bad luck on him. I don't want him to bust out of his shoes or anything like that. I want to see him succeed, and I want LeBron to see him succeed. You know, and Bryce is not too far behind him. He's a sophomore. But I just wish and want nothing but success for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know LeBronny's been saying that his goal is to play the Bronny, but if it's not Bronny's goal, then he's like okay with it. If you were Bronny, where do you fall? Would you want to play with your dad, or would you kind of want to get outside of his shadow?
I'd want to get out of his shadow. That is what I want for Bronny. Establish your own identity. That's one thing my dad told me a lot. Establish your own identity.
Yeah.
And that's what I want, not only for Bronny, but for Bryce to be their own person.
Yeah.
But how tough is that going to be? And I'd love to get your take on this. How tough is that going to be with all the expectations that are heaped upon him, especially being at USC?
Dude, you can't have a bad game. You can't have a single bad game, and you're never going to be Bronny. You're going to be LeBron's son for a long time. And so I know that we have, I forget which one of the MMA fighters, guys in the UFC, his son was wrestling, and we were at that tournament, and his son just wasn't that good. And everybody, and even if you don't want to, they just look at him and say, how can you not be good if your dad is blank?
Right.
And that's going to be Bronny. He literally can't have a bad game. You can't be injured. You always have to be the number one star player. So I feel for him, because at this point, you're still a kid going into your first year of college.
Yes.
And you're coming in with some expectations higher than I think some of the 6-man pros.
And no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to ask the question, does Bronny establish his own identity?
Yeah.
No one wants, if you watch the media as much as I, they think, and it's like, what did you just say? He's LeBron's son. He's not Bronny.
Right.
He's not even LeBron James Jr.
Right.
He's LeBron's son. The scrutiny and the expectations are going to be off the charts for him. And I feel for the kid.
Yeah.
I feel for him.
Me too, man.
And it's not fair. A lot of people are going to look at me in surprise and saying that, but I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, hello.
Yes. Yes.
Marcus Jordan, hello. And I watched Marcus Jordan play for 2 years at Whitney Young. The expectations were enormous with him. Enormous.
It's families, especially pro families. It's you have all that extra media. And so I'm thinking of the Watt brothers. You got JJ Watt, TJ Watt, and then there's Derek Watt. And it just has to suck. And there has to be something psychological about being the other guy.
Yes. doggone it. I forgot my mic was muted. I'm sorry. We're going to kill it there. And thank you to everyone that came on today. This is how we're going to do it from here on out. So I'm going to schedule some interviews that will be taped. That will be the second half of the show. If I get some live ones, that will be great. You all will know. And I have a few other things to do. So thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, Rising Rhino, for coming on. I know this was last minute. And thank you to the folks at the Fired Up Network for joining the group of networks and stations that pick up the Brian Snow Show. My time is up. I'm out of here. I'll see you all tomorrow. God bless you.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.